Hi everyone, and welcome back to Edinburgh. I'm so glad that you could join me again. This week at home, I've been doing more organising to spruce up my home for spring. So as I mentioned in a previous episode, I am starting to make little changes in my house just to improve things and just to give a refresh to my home. A lot of the things that I've had here, I've had them for a long time, and so I really wanted to kind of let go of some of the past and change things up a little bit. Now, one of the things that I have done, as you can see, is that there was a floral armchair here. That has gone. It is in the dining room for now until I can sell it, and I've moved the table from the dining room here. And I'm really happy with the way that this has turned out. The room was kind of feeling a little bit too full. That armchair was quite bulky and big, and it was blocking the view of this. So I just thought to bring this round table into the window and to maybe have a big vase of flowers on here with maybe some other ornaments would just open out the space and make it a lot more airy and bright, and I think it really has worked very well. Also, what I've done is I have repainted this table. I'm not sure whether you remember, but it was like a creamy colour with a brown wax over the top, which made it look a bit old and French. The last time I painted that was about 7 years ago, so it really needed to be refreshed, and I'm thinking that it looks a lot better. Another thing that I've been doing over the last few weeks is going through all of my cupboards and just organising them. When I moved into this house, I was in a bit of a rush. I wanted to get in and settled in, and because of that, I just tended to put everything into the cupboards, and I thought I'll deal with them another time. Well, the time has come, and I think even though I couldn't really see behind the cupboards what was going on inside of them, it was always in the back of my mind, and it was making me a little bit anxious, so I wanted to get that sorted out. That's what I've been doing. When I was going through my little sideboard where all of this lives, I was just looking at all the different pieces, thinking of the memories and the stories behind them, so I thought it would be nice to share that with you now. So I guess I should start with the very first tea set that I ever bought, which is this one, and I lost the lid to this a long time ago, and I still haven't replaced it. You can replace it, but I've kept it because it was my first one that I ever bought, so it's kind of got a sentimental value, even though I can't really use it. It's still nice for me to be able to look at it from time to time, and it really does bring back memories from when I was like 21 and first starting to get interested in tea and Chinaware. This is a Royal Worcester tea set, and it has a teapot, it has cups and saucers, a sugar bowl and a milk jug. So I got this one back in 2011 when I was living in Shropshire with my previous boyfriend. That was our first home together, and I remember being in a little cute shop and I saw this, and I just thought that I wanted to have a little tea set so that if I had friends or family over, they would be able to enjoy a nice special occasion with a teapot and teacups. I just thought that it would be a really nice way for them to visit me and have a special memory of the time there. And I think that is the beautiful thing about having tea and tea sets, is that it's not something that we use every single day. So if you can get them out and have one or two pieces, it will be very special for the person you're entertaining. I think one of the earliest memories that I have is going to my grandmother's house, and even though I was about 5, 6 years old, every time I went there she would always give me a cup of tea in a cup and saucer, and I just remember loving that from that young age and it being a special memory, and I think that is probably where it stems from, and the fact that I wasn't having tea in a china cup every day at home, so going to my grandmother's house was special and always makes me think of her. So that is a lovely memory for me to have, and I think that is where all of this comes from. A lot of people ask me what is my favourite tea set that I have, and it is hard for me to pick because I really do love everything that I have. Everything that I buy, I will only buy it if I really love it. Some of these things can be expensive, so you need to make sure that you do love them and that you're going to love them for years and years to come. So one of the things I really enjoy are things that are shaped like fruits, vegetables, Cabbageware especially, like this little jug which I found in TK Maxx last year for about £7. It is so multi-use. You can put flowers in there, or if you're serving a pudding you can put cream, or if you're serving a dinner you can put gravy. It is so cool and useful, and people always enjoy seeing things like this. And then I've got these little salt and pepper shakers which are shaped like artichokes, and then a little artichoke bowl, and then these, which I got from John Lewis last year again, are little bowls that are shaped like red onion, and I just think they're really cute and charming, so I do love that kind of thing. Over here we've got a little bit of silverware, so I've got this coffee pot, I've also got a teapot like this, and then a milk and sugar bowl here, and then a gravy boat. I've got a set of those, and then here this is like a warming tray, so I often use that if I'm having people over for breakfast. I make a special porridge and leave that in there and then serve that. So I had this silverware back in 2013 when I first moved to Scotland and we lived in the countryside, and I just wanted something. We lived in quite a formal place, so I wanted something a little bit fancy and special so that when people were coming over they would really feel special and like they were being taken care of. So I don't really use this very often, but it is very useful if you are having people over and you want to keep your coffee and tea really, really hot. That is one good thing about silverware, is that it really does keep things hot for a long, long time, whereas when you're using China teapots and teacups, it cools down much quicker. So I often, even when I'm using a China teapot, I'll often have a pot of boiling water in a silver teapot to make sure that we can keep topping it up. And that is a really good tip to do that. This set here is a Royal Doulton set, and these are just very plain. As you can see, everything that I have is kind of florals, flowers, very pretty things, and I wanted something that was just plain so that if I wanted to have a more simple arrangement, this would work pretty well. And I think these are quite nice. They've just got the bone china white with a gold rim, and I think these work really well. I got these from Facebook Marketplace about 4 years ago, and someone was selling the whole set, which is just all of these plates, and then I've got quite a few teacups and coffee cups, and I think that was about £30, so a real bargain. Always check online. For some reason, people are wanting to get rid of Chinaware, teaware a lot lately. They don't really see the value in it. I think it's pretty sad because this is very well made stuff. So yep, check online and you'll probably be able to find a really good bargain. Now sometimes I am very, very lucky and people who watch this channel want to send me gifts. That is the case for this newest set that I have, which is a Wedgwood bone china set, and it is called Florentine. And this was given to me by someone in Ireland who collected chinaware and teaware for a long time, but wanted to downsize and thought that they should go to a good home. So I was very lucky to be able to get this. It is a blue and white set. I think it's very classic and timeless. And going back to the silverware, when you have a set like this but you don't have the complete set, so with this I have the teacups and saucers, a milk and sugar bowl and a cake plate, but no teapot, what you can do is the silver teapot works really well to go with any missing pieces that you might have, and it will just look uniform and beautiful still. So that is a great tip for if you have an incomplete set. Sometimes when you mix and match, like this wouldn't really go well with this teapot, but it looks really, really beautiful with silverware. Another gift that I had from someone who watches the channel are these really, really pretty ramekin dishes with little plates, and I just think these are so gorgeous. They have this pink and green design. I think they're really elegant and timeless, and also again multi-use. You can use these for so many different things. Sometimes there's little puddings in them, and then other times I have them on the dining table with sweets or candies in. Really, really pretty and so gorgeous. So I'm a very lucky person to receive these. So I really hope that you have enjoyed looking through some of my things. When I was going through the cupboard sorting them out, I knew that I had to share them here, as I know how much you all love this stuff as much as I do. So I don't know about you, but after all of that, I'm now in the mood for a nice cup of tea. And I'm very excited to finally be able to share with you something that I've been working on for quite a while, and that is my new Nicolas Fairford tea. So we've got the breakfast tea, the Earl Grey blue flower tea, and the Botanica rose petal black tea. These are 3 different loose leaf teas that I would typically drink throughout the day, so I like to have a different cup of tea for depending on what time of day it is. In the morning, I really like to have a breakfast tea. It is a strong, robust tea that really wakes you up in the morning and refreshes you. You have it with a splash of milk, and it just gets the day off to a very good start. In the afternoon, I'll probably have a Earl Grey tea. It has a beautiful bergamot flavour, and it goes well with things like scones and cakes if you're having afternoon tea, sandwiches too. You can have that with a little slice of lemon, which really brings the tea to life. And then maybe in the late afternoon you want something like this, which is the rose petal black tea. This has been designed to complement the candle, which has a hint of rose in the fragrance. And this one is really kind of indulgent. You can have it with a splash of cream to make it even more indulgent, but it is a beautiful fragrant tea that is perfect for afternoons. So I think I'm going to go for the rose petal black tea. I'm really into this one lately. The scent is heavenly. You really get the rose, and it's just such a fresh tea. I don't like to have this with anything. I don't have milk or cream. I just like it black, and it is so refreshing. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of this loose leaf tea into the teapot. That's probably just enough for one. The rule of thumb is that you add a bit of tea, a spoonful of tea for the pot, and then for how many guests you're having. So if you're having 3 people, you'd have 4 spoonfuls of tea in there. And then I've got my hot water in here, so I'm going to pour that in. Now this was boiling, but it's been resting for about 10 minutes, so it's probably cooled down a little bit. That is always useful so that you don't burn your tea. And then I'm going to let that brew for about 3 minutes, and then we'll pour it into the teacup. So these teas come in these pouches, which keep it nice and fresh. They're resealable. And I hope that you like the design, because we worked very hard on them to make them pretty. I wanted it to be so that when you serve these to guests or give them as gifts, they're visually beautiful to look at. And I think they are. The thing about these teas also that is beautiful is that the tea inside is also very pretty, especially these 2. The Earl Grey blue flower has actual blue flowers in it. I'll show you that. And the rose petal has little rose buds in there. So it is very pretty, as well as smelling wonderful and looking great too. So I'll just read you the description on the back of each tea so you can get an idea of each one. The rose tea. This is a classical scented tea made with rose petals layered into black China tea. It is the perfect refreshment when spending long afternoons in a beautiful garden in summertime. It has a sweet and full taste with flowery notes. For extra indulgence, a dash of cream may be added. The next one, the Earl Grey blue flower. This Earl Grey with blue flowers is an East African black tea flavoured with Italian bergamot oil. A refreshing accompaniment to your afternoon tea, the blue cornflower petals add a subtle note of sweetness to the familiar Earl Grey taste, wonderful with a squeeze of lemon. And the breakfast tea. A robust blend of Assam, Ceylon and Kenyan tea, our Scottish breakfast is the perfect way to begin a gentle morning and ease yourself into the day, perfect with a splash of milk. Okay, so I think our tea is probably ready. I've got my little strainer here so that you don't get any of the leaves in your teacup. I can smell the rose even now. But the good thing about this one is that the taste isn't too overpowering. Really refreshing. If you would like to learn more about this tea, I have written a blog post about how the whole process started and how it came to be. So that is really interesting, and you'll also be able to purchase the tea on the website nicolasfairford.com. You can buy it individually, or it comes in a set of 3. Welcome to Vanessa's Kitchen. This has been the place where, since we started our business together, that we do a lot of our work. We started working here during the beginning of the pandemic together, and it's where we spend most of our time coming up with new ideas for videos and products. Now, one of the things that tends to happen is that we get so absorbed in our work that suddenly we both realize that we're very hungry and we need to eat. As I just said, at the beginning of the pandemic, everything was closed. We had to always cook in this kitchen. So that's what we did, and we enjoyed actually preparing beautiful meals. One of the things that I started during the pandemic was HelloFresh, and that is something that I want to talk about once again today, because it's something that I found to be really useful in my life and something that just fits perfectly with my schedule and how I want to cook. So, HelloFresh is a meal delivery service that comes in this box. The great thing for me is, being single, I was finding that when I was going to the grocery store to buy things for the week, I was often overbuying. Even when you try to be very conscious about that, it's hard to estimate how much you need. So one of the reasons why HelloFresh has really worked for me is that I get this box delivered once a week, and it has enough food in here for me to eat for the whole week, and enough food so that I don't waste anything, and I'm still satisfied. So that is how, for me, it has been really life-changing. I don't have to think about going to the store. I just get this box delivered, and it is so that simple and easy. However, this is quite flexible, so if, like me, you actually enjoy cooking from scratch from your own recipes, you can select how many times that you want to have this delivered. Just lately for me, because I've been quite busy, I've ordered a delivery so that I can eat throughout the week, but you can quickly turn off the deliveries and rearrange the schedule so that you can get HelloFresh delivered to your door, but also so that you can cook your own food when you want to. So it has been a very busy week for us here. I thought that I would bring my HelloFresh to Vanessa's Kitchen so that we could quickly rustle something up without having to really think about it. So let's get into the box. Everything that you need is in the box. So to begin, you get your recipe cards, which has as many as you've ordered. This one that we're going to be doing today is a Mexican-style roasted sweet potato salad. The thing that I love about this is that it tells you exactly what is in the recipe. So you have all the ingredients here, and then you can check that they're in the box. And then on the back of the card, it tells you what to do before you start about prepping the food. It also tells you what tools you'll need, and the ingredient list with calories, so you can really check the nutrition. That is perfect for me. I like to stay healthy, so I also ordered the HelloFresh option that is under 650 calories for each meal. So that is what I like to do. So that is your recipe card. The next thing that you have is a bag with all of the food. So absolutely everything that you need will be in this bag. So we've got a sweet potato, a green pepper, red onion, avocado, lime, some baby gem lettuce, some coriander, and here we have some Mexican spice mix. So that is everything that we need to cook this dish. It's all in here. It's been perfectly proportioned so that nothing is going to go to waste, and this will serve 2 people. So I'm going to cook this little dinner for Vanessa and I. We've had a busy day and we're very hungry, so we're going to cook this together now. I'm starting by chopping the sweet potato into chunks. I'll then add this to a roasting pan, drizzle with olive oil and sprinkle over the Mexican seasoning and some sea salt. This will then roast in the oven for about 25 minutes. Next, I'm thinly slicing the green pepper. I'll then chop the red onion and garlic and add all of this to another roasting pan, drizzling with olive oil and seasoning with salt. This will roast for about 20 minutes. Now I'm halving the lime and prepping the avocado. I'll add it to a large bowl and then juice the lime into it. I'm going to add another drizzle of olive oil and season it with salt once again. I'm chopping the coriander, including the stalks, and I will add half of this to the bowl and mix together. Now I'm chopping the lettuce into thin slices and I'll add that to the bowl and mix. Now that the roasted peppers, onion and sweet potato are ready, I'll add them to the bowl and mix everything together, and that is it. So there we have it, a very quick, easy, healthy and delicious meal that is going to fill us up. The portion sizes are really excellent. And I've been using HelloFresh for about 9 months now, and I would say if you do decide to go ahead, keep the recipe cards that you get with the boxes. I've managed to find some really delicious salad recipes, for example, that I would use in different dishes, so keep them. You will find that you'll want to use them again. This would make the perfect base for a salad, and you could add something else to it to make it even a bigger meal if you want to invite friends over, for example. So these are really good recipe cards that you can quickly store away and keep. So yeah, this is a really delicious, substantial meal. And one of the great things about HelloFresh is that you do, I find, save money. I mean, I was going to the grocery store, spending more than I wanted to, and then wasting the food. So for less than what I would spend there, I'm getting meals that I'm eating everything, so nothing is going to waste. So if you would like to try HelloFresh out for yourselves, head on over to hellofresh.com. You can use the code NicolasFairford16 for up to 16 free meals plus 3 surprise gifts. Now, all that's left to do is eat. I'm starving, so here we go. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you've enjoyed this episode and found it fun. I look forward to seeing you next week, but until then, take care. See you soon.